It is a beautiful day today here at the Newell Coach Factory in Miami, Oklahoma. And we just found the latest and greatest here in the glass house. We're with Brian Pitts today. How you doing today, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. And it's always an honor to come here to the Newell Coach Factory and see these incredible coaches the Newell Coach team is building. And this coach really caught my attention with this American flag design ghosted into the back of it. What's the story with this coach?
We've been doing quite a few American flags because, it's the 250th. That's a pretty big deal. But this coach in particular, I did not work with this client, but now that I've studied all about his coach, I really wish I had, because he just seems super cool. I love the effort and the thought that he put into it. The client did what a lot of our clients are doing these days because the backlog is so long. He bought a late 1700 series coach. It was his first Newell. So to use and learn about the product during the wait and the build for this, the way you can tell it worked is when you go through the blueprints and the coach order and all that, there's all these notes. Tweak this, move this 3 inches, make one of these, and that's our jam. As you know, that's exactly what we love to do. We send the blueprints off to have them signed, and a lot of times they come back the next day with a signature, which means they went, yep, that looks right. This guy was one of them that was in there with his ruler, and I love that attention to detail, and it shows all through the coach. It's got a lot of original thought. Paint job obviously is killer. They're Tennessee fans, so it's got a little of the dreamsicle orange on it there, and obviously I'm a big football fan too, so I'm like, man, I wish I could have worked with this guy. He seems super cool.
Yeah, well, and I really love what they did here, with this paint job. I don't know how well the camera gets it because it's kind of ghosted in. You guys have been doing some really cool effects in the paint shop. It's an American flag, but in black and silver, just a really cool little subtle touch there.
Very subtle. That's the perfect word for it.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing the interior of this coach, but what's new for the exterior on these new 2027s?
There's several things on this coach that I like. Let me show you a couple of them. So we've been working with a company called Torque HD to build wheels for us. Our suspension systems come from Germany, so we require a special bolt pattern, and so it's a little extra work for us to get wheels, but I think these things just look so killer on this coach. Kind of a blackout effect all over the coach anyway. I really like that. This I didn't think would be as big a deal as it really is, but having this little control panel out here where you can run the whole coach off of the outside, you can turn on all the lights, you can run the awnings. I mean, you really can do just about everything from this panel out here without even going in the coach. That's one of those things, kind of like the voice controlled coaches, that at first I was like, that's dumb. And then after I lived in one, I'm like, I don't ever want to not have that. So anyway, that was a really cool thing.
Yeah, we did a full video with James, VP of Engineering, where he really explained that in depth. And then the last time we were out here, we saw some of the first new electric doors. How have those been working out here on these first few coaches?
The true test is always a front door coach. If it doesn't seal right, that's the one that's going to make noise. These back here are kind of in an air pocket. The front door coaches are extremely tight. No squeaks, no rattles, no wind noise. So we're about 6 or 8 coaches in, and they've been flawless. I mean, when you see the size of the mechanism as you open the door, you'll understand how it makes enough force to really pull that thing in. But they've been phenomenal so far.
And what's the coach number of this coach?
This is coach number 1866. It's a custom build.
Nice. Well, can we take a look at the interior?
Absolutely.
This coach is on another level. You can tell that when they designed this, there was a lot of thought really put into this.
Yeah, no doubt. As I was reading through it, I discovered just tons of little details that he did all through the coach. One of the things that I thought was really cool is every now and then somebody does that bar style seating that was made popular by coaches that don't have a flat floor over here.
Yeah.
What people seem to like about it here is that you can use it both for dining and as a workstation. It's kind of a dual purpose, and you don't have to have a dedicated desk. And then obviously they did it out of the backlit agate, which is just stunning.
Yeah, over the top. Just such a rich look. And then in this area, there's no overhead cabinets here. So you have all of this headroom in the Newell Coach slide room. Newell Coach has the leading slide room height in the industry, largest slide rooms in the industry. And then, these huge windows. Newell has the largest windows in the Class A industry also. So utilizing this area, this is typically where your patio side is,
Right.
making the best out of your view. I really like this. And we've seen a few coaches with this style setup, but I think we're going to see more and more. It just makes sense. And then the other thing I like about this is when the slide rooms come in, you know, you still have a lot of free space. I feel like it tucks back a little bit, gives you a little bit more space as well.
More maneuvering room.
Yes, sir. And then the way the backlit countertop here ties in with the backlit backsplash there in the galley. You could tell we're in something luxury here.
Yeah. It seems like from reading all the production order stuff, like a lot of their life is centered around outdoor life. And I'm saying that, you know, based on a number of things. You pointed out how the dinette faces out the window, but you know how I'm a massive fan of these center entry machines. Check all this stuff out right here. They chose the straight entry, which gives you more room over here. There's a cover, of course, that comes out over that. But right here as you step in the door, it's got a 6-bottle wine cooler.
Keep the important stuff convenient, right?
Absolutely. It has an ice maker that makes the good kind of ice, you know, like they have at Sonic, the crunched up ice. So that's right here by the door. Obviously, the coffee and beverage station is right here.
I noticed this is a taller height of your coffee and beverage station, but I really like this. We're both taller guys. I'm 6', I think you're probably about 6'3" or so. Yeah. I'm sure your owners can order it at different heights, but they chose to have it a little taller here.
It's usually most apparent in the lavvy, in the rear bath, you know, like one countertop will be quite a bit higher than the other one, but that's absolutely a conversation you can have as you're ordering the coach is, hey, where does this hit me? I don't want to be bent over and I don't want to be reaching up like that.
Yeah, I really like that flexibility that Newell coach has to really, you know, cater to whoever's writing that big check.
Absolutely.
And, you know, on that point, you know, about how much money is someone looking at to purchase a coach or custom build a coach like this?
There's a lot of variables that go into that. They spent a lot of money on the paint on this. It has a lot of detail in it and that American flag on the back and so on. So this coach is very close to $2.8 million. The coach that they're building for me to take to the Florida market this year has all of the custom paint, but it's also got that crazy engine that we've talked about.
It's a $70,000 option just for the engine.
Isle of Man green with polished stainless everywhere. I mean, I get the chills just thinking about it. But you know, that one's going to be a 2.850 range. I mean, it's not finished. Obviously, it's in the chassis shop right now, but that's where we're targeting it. This one's not quite finished. It's still got the cut and buff and the ceramic coating to go, but it was close enough that we could see it. And when I saw this one, I was like, this has got so many unique features. This is the one we've got to show everybody.
Yeah, but typically probably you'd say a range of about 2.65 to 2.9?
Yeah, I would say that covers it.
Yeah, give or take.
There's
lot of variables
on both directions. Yeah. We did just spec a coach for a guy that barely broke 2.6. But he's built God knows how many Newells with us over the years, and he just likes them kind of simple.
Yeah.
Two colors on the paint job, and you know, and so, you know, there's a massive range of things we can do, and it all either saves or costs money.
Yes, sir. As we're standing there's just so much room up front here, and the captain's chairs are spun around right now. I love the two-tone with the double diamond stitching with the perforated. This leather, it's a more high-end stitching pattern than the first time I came to Newell and they were doing the diamond pattern maybe, you know, 10 years ago or so. This is, you can see more refinement where the perforated leather, there's a space between that double diamond stitch. You could tell this is a higher end stitching than we've seen in the past.
This company that builds these for us are just like us. They're always looking for a better way to do it. Obviously, it works better to not stitch through the perforation. So once the technology became available for them to do that, that's the way we order it.
And are these heated and cooled and massaging seats?
All the above, yes.
Yes, sir.
And this obviously is an air ride also, which is really nice.
Yes, sir. And then, you know, we have the overhead TV here.
They did opt for a larger television. That's normally a 49-inch. They went with a 55. On a center entry door coach, a 55-inch television's a really good idea because you're not going to bang your head on it coming in and out. But on a front entry coach, the 49 is a better size. We can put it back farther and up higher so you're less likely to bang your head on it. And then they also did, which we've talked about plenty of times, they did the projector option here with the front and rear display.
If you want to be the popular guy at the campground and have the big parties, no better way to do it than with that huge projector screen. And then this appears to be a sofa, but with this little center console with a couple cup holders in here, it almost appears like it's recliners. But is that also a sofa, or what's going on over here?
It kind of does both things. What they wanted to do here is make it to where it fit the floor plan, but was still long enough to lie down on. So in order to accomplish that, we made the beverage holder here in the center removable, and then this arm on the end down here is removable as well. So there's plenty of room. They didn't want to do removable on this end because it would just leave a big odd looking gap between the floating table and the couch. So these two are removable. You can lie down here and watch the front television if you want, or obviously you have these awesome recliners over here if you want to watch the big projection screen.
I love the way the throw rug here matches the pillows. So many little details, and then the way they tie in those color tones from the underlit backsplash and floating table over there. Just such nice design cues.
As soon as I walked into it, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to show really well. Also, I'm typically not a huge fan of wood floors, but these look so perfect in this coach because it's kind of a modern coach, you know, with the metal trim around the cabinets and the inserts and so on. But then the wood floors just brings it right back home.
Absolutely. Well, and this ceiling design, I remember, I believe it was 1749. It was the first time I saw this, one of my favorite Newell specs, but we're on 1866. So you guys have built over 100 coaches now since then. And this is still, you know, seems like a brand new design. And I think they've changed the style of it, a different spacing of wood, little different tones of wood.
Sometimes a chevron pattern, you know, there's a lot we can do with it. But the feedback we get at the shows, you know, is people are so tired of the same old look up there. This is something fresh. It feels like a spa when you're inside it. We just recently worked out how to make the air conditioner returns flush, so that gained you about an inch of interior height, which you obviously feel as you're walking through here.
And if you look closely here, this is almost like an ostrich skin or some sort of an embossed leather on the ceiling.
It's tone on tone, so you can't really see it, but you feel it.
Just so impressive, all the indirect lighting. You know, you can see indirect lighting here, more indirect lighting here, indirect lighting on this side of the slide room face. I mean, there's going to be more, you know, indirect lighting below the countertops, indirect lighting below the cabinets. I mean, this is nicer than any home I've ever, you know, you can go into a 10, 20 plus $1 million home, and I doubt that they're going to have like a ostrich liner with a spa ceiling with indirect light. I mean, it's literally nicer than any home.
Well, one of my favorite things to do is like at cocktail time, you know, you can shut off the main lights and only activate the accent lights, and the glow is just, I know we've talked about this before, but the glow is just crazy in here. And the digital assistant there, I won't say her name, but the digital assistant has those scenes built in. So you can say, hey, it's evening, and it does the things that it's supposed to do for evening time. And you sit in here in one of those amazing resorts that we travel around to, and you say, hey, it's evening time, and there's the martini, and the coach is glowing, and you're just like, man, this is the life.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's incredible the way they do that. And we saw down at Naples Motor Coach Resort where you had a display coach. You were talking about lighting, and you know, not just the interior lighting, but the exterior lighting as well. So many different features. A lot of thought goes into it. And yeah, now with the technology, you know, you let Alexa know it's date night. She'll lower the lights, drop the blinds, maybe throw on some Marvin Gaye or Barry White or something. And I don't think she's able to open the bottle of wine quite yet, but maybe in the future.
Give her a couple of months.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, coming back to the galley area here, what material am I seeing? Is that like a vinyl wrap that goes over?
No,
or what am I seeing?
This is actually the same material that we often use on the exterior bays. It's a metal laminate, and in this case, it's a polished brass that they chose for the outlines on the cabinets. It's the first time I've seen that. I travel quite a bit, so it's possible that it happened before and I just hadn't seen it. But that was the first thing that caught my eye after the agate when I walked in here, and I was like, man, that is really cool.
And then you've got this gold decor piece to just tie everything together. And I like the way that the sink even matches the countertops. We've got a ton of countertop space here. You usually don't see that much countertop space in a motorhome.
And this one is another one of the things that shows me they have a big emphasis on outdoor living. First of all, the center entry is always a dead giveaway. Screen door, easy access in and out. But they did the under counter stove, which means this area is available for prep.
Yeah.
So, you know, you do your prep work out here, you put it all on the tray, which stores in the little cabinet over there, and you're right out the door, just right directly into the area where the cooking and the serving is going to happen.
Yeah, we've started to see that more and more often. I like to open the drawer because if you see the InvisiCook, that's how you know you have it. But they've even got the silverware dividers with all of the silverware that even matches the hardware.
One thing they did that was different that I also thought was really cool is, you know, this is typically where that Miele dishwasher goes if it's an upright, or the Fisher Paykel if it's a sideways one. In this case, we plumbed and wired for it, but we did not put it in. So these two are just regular drawers. But
Lots of storage.
But this bottom one, they did as a refrigerator drawer. So the comments in the order were for beverages, which again kind of leans more toward we intend to live outside a lot. But as I was talking to the engineers, they were like, you know, that could be a crisper, it could be a freezer, you can turn it up or down to do whatever you need. So it's a pretty neat multi-purpose idea. And if you're not washing dishes in here, why not? That's a great idea.
I think they may be tailgating at some football games with the extra cooling, little spot for some cold beverages. They've got the ice maker.
Yeah.
And we still have a massive refrigerator as well. Yeah, and this is something new we've started to see where they've got this cabinet here kind of built into the galley, just nice huge storage here. It's incredible how much storage is in these Newell coaches.
That's always a kind of a customer preference item. In this case, you've got so much counter space anyway, you know, you can afford to give that up and get that great slide out storage. Some people though will delete that because you have a huge pantry back here.
Oh, shoot,
but some people will delete this in order to pick up, you know, all that extra counter space. But in this case, I think that was done correctly.
Yes, sir, and I love how you've got the adjustable shelving here. I mean, again, finished out with the same look as these cabinets even inside, but you've got a downlit hanging bar there where if you want to put a coat closet, or if you've got guests staying out here that want to use this as wardrobe, really versatile use of space here. If you want to have tall stuff, dresses, race car suits, you're all set up there.
That really is a theme, you know, that people are talking about a lot, is using things for multi-purpose. You know, like we talked about the dinette table there facing out, working well as a workstation as well as a dinette. This is another perfect example of it. This is another example. It's a great prep space, but it can be used as a cooking space as you need to. We've got a lot of input from clients saying, you know, I need to do both of these things in this space, and our engineers figure out how to make it work.
As we're standing talking here, I noticed this accent wall here, just another totally different style that I haven't seen before.
I hadn't either, and I thought it was really cool, you know, because again, this is a modern coach. It's got square corners and you know, lighter colored laminates and so on, and then there's little touches like this in the ceiling and the floor that bring it right back to earth. And I think that's such a neat blend that our girls are able to pull off.
Yeah, they're world class for sure. Now coming back here, and you talk about straight lines, but then here got a slight rounded edge here, just so many cool little variations.
As you're walking through the coach, you know, slides in, moving down the road, that one is one that protrudes into your walkway, so you don't want a sharp edge corner on that. You know, you hit a bump and get a bruise. So that was the perfect place for a round.
Yeah, very well thought out. And then I like this inlay with that frosted glass, or I don't know if it's like a colored glass inlay on these pocket doors here, but this is going to be our half bathroom here?
Yes, absolutely. And it's really cool. It's got a neat surprise in there too.
I haven't seen this yet. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that cool?
Yes, sir.
So I told you Tennessee fans, right? So that's Neyland Stadium right there. That's a pencil sketch that a friend did for them, and we framed it and backlit it and put it in there. We don't have the final installation. I asked them to just, you know, kind of put it in there so that I can show it to you. But anyway, it's backlit. The whole thing glows. It's just so cool.
And then the wall matches the ceiling there, just over the top. And, you know, we talk about 2.6 to 2.9 million, but I bet you some of your coach owners may want to just throw a Picasso in there and bump the price up $1 million or something. I'm sure you guys have seen it all.
Pretty much.
Yes, sir.
And I love these river rock treatments that people are doing now.
Yeah, really gives it that spa feel. And then we've got the bidet toilet here, and then another underlit countertop. These are expensive countertops, and then really cool sconce lights. We even have a floating ceiling here in the half bathroom here. Just incredible the amount of detail work. Like you mentioned, that stone backsplash wall, and then another different style stone that goes up halfway up the wall that matches the floors. Yeah, you guys were not messing around there. So now refrigerators behind you, the big refrigerator?
And they did choose a larger refrigerator. It's a big double door. This is a Fisher Paykel.
Now, can we see what's behind door number 2 there?
Absolutely. This part's a knockout too. Check this out. Look how huge this bedroom is. I mean, we're miles away from each other in here. You've been in a ton of coaches. You know what I'm talking about.
No doubt.
This is massive. It's just got, it's the kind of room where you don't get claustrophobic in your coach at all. They did another projection system back here with the full-on surround sound subwoofer, the Anthony Gallo acoustics, the whole bit. Got nice storage here. Obviously, that's a 84-inch projection screen there, so that'll get it done in a bedroom. Did the clothes hamper here in the middle, and then regular storage drawers on the side. It's actually got tons of storage.
Yeah, and when you open and close those Newell coach drawers, you really feel that quality. And another underlit countertop. That's some serious dough went into these countertops in this coach. And then closets on both sides as well.
Both sides. And these can be spec'd. I saw in the notes that they chose to do drawers underneath. These can be spec'd to be full length. So like a NASCAR guy needs a place to hang a fire suit, or if the person carries dresses that are long or something like that, they'll usually choose one of these to go full length. But in this case, they chose drawers.
Yes, sir. As we're talking here, these accent walls are really standing out. I mean, this is a spa feel back here. I definitely feel like I'm in a Four Seasons spa or something. But the indirect lighting with a totally different pattern of accent wall than the accent wall we saw out there.
The number of textures that our girls can mix and make it work is just crazy. But the richness that it brings to a coach, those complexities, is just awesome. But it's not all just looks. Like, there's a ton of really practical stuff that goes in here. Like, this is a motorized bed base. There's a ton of storage underneath it, but the mattresses weigh a zillion pounds. So we made it motorized. It's nice and quiet. It lifts up. You can put your stuff underneath it. The other thing that I hear constant complaints in the RV industry about is how hard it is to make the beds. Look at the gap.
I could get my hands back here a lot easier. And then I'm not climbing over anything. I mean, you still have plenty of nightstand space there. Again, underlit countertop. You've got plenty of drawer space bedside also, and then even overhead storage here. I guess some of your AV components are going to be up here.
Yeah.
And then those are probably the Bluetooth speaker if you want to flip this around
and use it outside. Yeah.
Nice.
And touching on the AV, we've had good feedback from customers that like a remote control, as opposed to using their iPad or something like that. So we've developed a remote control that runs all of the stuff in the coach, and like the response is instant. There's not that lag that our industry has fought forever. And it's frankly the same way on the compass panels too. I wanted to turn on all the lights for you guys as soon as we came in, and it's just click on 100%. No delay, just 100% there.
Definitely sharpening up over time, and I think people really appreciate that. Now, as we're standing here, I've just got to compliment Amber and Sydney on these sconce lights here. I mean, so many little design touches. I mean, we could spend a whole day in this coach and not even see it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, now what's going on in the rear of the coach there?
So here we have the master suite bathroom, and they did a knockout job in here too. I love the tile that they did with the gold inlays here that kind of carries through the hardware all through the coach. More backlit countertop, plenty of closet space back here. This is the hardware. We don't hang this until the client is here because we only get one chance to put it in the right spot. So, we kind of have them stand there in the shower and say, all right, where would I want to reach to get that hand nozzle? In a center entry coach, to save room up front, we almost always recommend putting the washer dryer back here, but this is such a well thought out system. You've got the doors out of the way, plenty of room to do laundry. I've got miles of room here. And even if a future client chose to do front loaders, there's still tons of room. We've built the coach to accommodate that. So if at some point they want to change them, plenty of room here. It's got a neat rainfall head here. It's got we'll have the handheld, and then this is a great looking place to keep your shampoo, conditioner, shaving cream, whatever. And then a nice seat if you just need to sit in here and chill for a while.
And are those like single stones? I mean, that have just massive pieces of stone back there.
One sheet. And I did a house remodel recently. I know what that costs, and wow. But I mean, look, you just can't get that kind of look any other way. And we carry it all the way through, you know, like down here, even the small details like the drain built into the floor looks nice that way. But also one thing that's cool about it, I've got 5 daughters. I've cleaned a lot of hair out of drains over the years. Those things pop right out and make it so much easier to clean that out. It's functional and attractive. It's also got the floating ceiling in here. The vent fan is behind that, as well as some lighting. It's an accent piece, but it's also functional.
Yeah, and then a heated towel bar here, and that brushed nickel that even ties in with these sconce lights. Just such an incredible bathroom back here.
Yeah, it's just a beautifully put together package.
Brian, really appreciate you showing us around this coach. Now, I know this was custom built for someone that's going to be enjoying this coach, so it's not for sale, unfortunately, for you guys. But if someone out there wants to custom build a coach or purchase a new show coach, what's the current backlog on a custom coach, and what's a current availability for a new show coach?
The list is growing, which is a little unusual for us. Normally the summertime is when we catch up, and then the winter when we're out in Indio, California, and down in Florida is when we stack them back up again. But we've got deposits coming in pretty regularly. You know, people know what we're doing here, and it's working. So you'd be looking at roughly 18 months if you order one from scratch. We have some show coaches coming up. We have a bunk coach that will be finished in September. And it's one of those where the bunks convert to closets, 2 full bathrooms, really cool coach. We have a contract on that coach, but he's also keeping open the option to just jump on 1891 way on out there. Or, I'm sorry, it's 1903 now, so
wow.
Way on out there. So I don't know for sure whether that one's going to be on the market. And then obviously the ones that we build in the winter, the ones that you and I always shoot down in Florida, and the coach that's going to Indio, those coaches are coming up. We have to show them first. We have obligations already signed, paid for, and so on. But they'll be available in late March, early April. And actually both of the first 2 that they've built for us are center entries. There's some really cool stuff on those. I can't wait to show them off.
Yes, sir. Then pre-owned, do you have any pre-owned Newell inventory with that 2-year Newell coach factory warranty on them?
We've actually got a couple. It comes and goes. At one point it looked like a ghost town out there, and the delivery shop was backed up, but we sent a letter out to our customers saying, hey, if you're thinking of trading or selling or whatever, now would be a really great time. And then that always shakes loose some business. You know, it starts the conversation, and we'll often, throw them 2 prices and say, hey, if we can have your coach now so that we have use of it in the wintertime when we need it, we'll give you a nice credit towards your new coach. And sometimes that shakes loose some inventory that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Yeah, nice. And where can folks get the current inventory, pre-owned inventory?
Always the best place is newellcoach.com. It's updated literally daily. We have an employee whose entire job is making sure that's perfect all the time.
And if someone out there is a serious and qualified buyer, who should they get a hold of to purchase a new Newell or a pre-owned Newell?
We have a lot of qualified guys here. We actually have a really super amazing team. Obviously, my preference is that you call me because that's how I pay for the groceries. My name is Brian Pitts. I've been here for 25 years. I've got a lot of experience in the high-end RV industry. I would love to help.
Yeah, how can folks get a hold of you?
Email brianp@newellcoach.com. That's always a quick thing. I monitor that constantly, and then I carry my cell phone with me everywhere too. That's 918-791-8477, and I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, awesome. Brian, really appreciate your time, and really appreciate the folks at Newell giving us the opportunity to see this amazing coach, and a huge congratulations to the owners that custom build this. They really knocked it out of the park with the Newell coach team on this one. But, really appreciate all of you out there liking, sharing, and subscribing also, and hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.